Welcome back, Business Freedom Podcast listeners. Lars Hedenborg here, founder of Real Estate B School, co-founder of High Performance Real Estate Advisors in Charlotte, North Carolina. Today, and I'm probably going to unpack this over a few sessions. It's not going to be a formal multi-part series, although I'm going to dig into the productivity strategies that have made me really, really successful in business and life. And I don't say really, really successful. As that came out, I was like, man, that is all ego. I don't mean it that way. I mean it like I've done a lot of things wrong and I've figured out a lot of things that have worked really, really well for me. And over these next few podcast episodes, I'm going to unpack all of it, the good, the bad, the ugly. And I'm going to call it, this first episode is going to be titled, Are You As Productive As You Can Be? And if you've heard me talk about my business growth journey, it is a journey. And so I see a lot of real estate team leaders and a lot of top producing agents, like they're just rushing to get to the place, right? They're not really enjoying the ride. They're not building their business in a way where there's some sustainability in it, where it can serve them rather than enslave them. The majority of real estate team leaders are enslaved to their businesses in multiple ways. Wrong economic models. They think they can't extract themselves from certain parts of the business. Even if they don't have a desire to get out of production, there's 95% of the activities of a real estate team leader that you don't need to do. And you can get someone at a much lower wage. And I'm going to get into that here in a minute. There's a quote here by James Clear that I want to kick us off with, because it's kind of like, it really touches on the journey aspect of this. Becoming the type of person you want to become, someone who lives by a stronger standard, someone who believes in themselves, someone who can be counted on by the people that matter to them, is about the daily process you follow and not the ultimate product you achieve. Super cool. And the guiding question for any conversation on productivity is this. And I want you to really think about this. Am I making consistent progress toward meaningful goals in the areas of life and business that really matter? Let me say that again. Am I making consistent progress toward meaningful goals in the areas of life and business that really matter? So meaningful goals, areas, right? There's areas of life, there's areas of business. And are you making progress towards those goals in the areas that actually matter? And so a lot of times when I look back at my business growth journey, there's multiple sort of phases and there's seasons of business. And let's say that it's your intention to build more of a business than what you have now. And I define that by if you don't show up every day in your business, quote unquote, because a lot of real estate agents don't really have businesses. They have really good jobs. And that's not a diss against a real estate, even a team leader, if their business doesn't run without them, because they may have a really important position in the business. And a lot of team leaders, though, they're wrong economic model. They're stuck in production because they set the thing up the wrong way, super low profit margins, super high stress, super high hours. And that's not what we want. And that's what we fight against in Real Estate B School. And so my point here, though, is that a lot of times at different points in your journey, you hit a ceiling, and it's because you're doing a thing that you need to move past. And so you feel frustrated because you're doing a thing that is really, I don't want to say beneath you, because nothing is beneath the business owner, right? The business owner will do anything to keep the business going. It's below your pay grade. So if you want to elevate your position in your business, you need to make a commitment to get out of the things that you can get others to do at a much lower pay grade. 80% of the function of a real estate agent, you could, in my market, which is a top 20 metro market, Charlotte, North Carolina, 2.2 million in our metro. You can get someone for $20 an hour or a lot less to do. We hired a runner, a 24-year-old, super good kid at $8 an hour. He's amazing. We instantly gave him a raise to $10 or $11 an hour. And then we've got another runner who started at 11, got to, I think he's at 12 or 13. So the pay grade on our real estate team, and we have a transaction quarter that probably makes $25 to $30 an hour. Buyer agents, for the amount of hours they put in, make, $40 to $50 an hour. Listing agents make $75 to $100 an hour. So you hit a point where your frustration goes up because you're doing things that are sort of a ceiling at what you need to be doing to move to the next level. So just know that if you're feeling frustrated, it's likely that you've hit a ceiling, and you need to look at the things that you're doing. And I'll go through that here. Maybe on one of the next episodes, I'll go through that. And my next thing I want to sort of unpack here as we kind of get into this conversation about productivity is that the day and age that we're living in, a conversation around true productivity, what it means to really be productive, is needed, because it is crazy the amount of distraction. If you think of, I'm holding up my phone. If you're watching the video, you can see the amount of distraction that can be let into your world through your telephone is crazy. So there's an absolute need for extraordinary measures. And if you have kids and you have a spouse and you're trying to show up in your church and add value there, and maybe you're in a men's group and you're adding value there, and maybe you do community service and you're adding value there, maybe trying to take care of your physical body, your emotional well-being, like all of those things are really good. And then think of the Netflix, the watching sports, the going golfing, the mindless, watching the news, reading, going on social media, all of the stuff that could take you away from the things that really, really matter. And so there's an absolute need for extraordinary measures. And then the last thing I'll tell you is that when it comes to productivity, there are no secrets. So I'm not sure how long I'm going to keep this thread here, this podcast thread going on productivity, but I will tell you that there are no secrets. And common sense is not always common practice. I will say that again. Common sense is not always common practice. So as I go through the things that have worked really, really well for me, really think about, are you doing that thing the very highest level that you could be doing it? Really think about that, because I have really thought about all of these sort of strategies that I'm going to go through, and how, when I look back over my business growth journey from 2008 was my first full year in real estate. I was a solo agent. I brought on an assistant that year, did 44 sides, and then 58, and then 118 when I started my team, 178, 248, 310 or so, and then 400 plus. That was my journey. The year we did 248, I did one transaction that year. And so I was just committed to, getting out of the thing I didn't have a passion for doing. And I knew someone else could do it better and take care of the clients better. And I can get into my sweet spot, which was systems building, marketing, pretty much it, systems building and marketing, and sort of being the business owner and tracking numbers and, lead source, ROI, tracking all of that stuff. And so when I look back on my journey, the things I'm going to go through are the things that have endured over the entire journey, to the point where, for the last 6 years, I'm 1 day a week in the real estate team. And now I've built a multi-million-dollar coaching company that I've pretty much built pretty leveraged. And so there are elements of the process. I'm pretty much still holding on to the listing appointment equivalent in this business, which is the strategy session. And if you've heard the podcast for a period of time, the sign off is go to realestatebschool.com, book in a business growth strategy session. As of the recording of this podcast, I'm still doing those business growth strategy sessions. So that's the last thing I'll probably give up, because I really, really enjoy them. It gets me face to face with somebody that's struggling with time, money, and stress as it relates to the real estate team. So just know that there are no secrets when it comes to the stuff I'm going to work through and talk about. And I'm super excited to go on this journey with you. We'll see how many episodes this lasts. Every one of these strategies are going to be really impactful. And I may double up some strategies on some of these episodes that are upcoming. Just know that this conversation is sort of couched around the fact that if you're a solo agent, if you just hired your first admin or your first buyer agent, or if you're running a big real estate team, and you're feeling a level of frustration, it's likely that you've hit a ceiling. You're doing things you don't need to do. We're living in a time where there's an absolute need for extraordinary measures, and there's nothing new I'll bring to this conversation. It's just the challenge on all of these strategies. Are you actually doing it? Are you actually doing it? And so we'll talk to you on the next session. If you already know that you are just as jacked up as I was going through the growth journey here, and you're ready to have a conversation about it, an honest conversation about where you are today, where you want to go, and what's holding you back from achieving your goals, go to realestatebschool.com. There is no hard sell. It's literally a conversation on those 3 points: where you are today, where you're going, and what's holding you back from achieving your goals. And we have a pilot program, which is 30 days free coaching, set up some baseline systems for productivity and tracking, and we'll analyze your business against the 4 key drivers, the 12 accelerators, and it'll be awesome. So take action, go to realestatebschool.com. We will see you there, and stay tuned for probably about 10 productivity strategies that you can absolutely use in your business and in your personal life to show up at a higher level and add more value in the areas of your life that truly matter. We'll see you there.